Hi, I'm Peachy.
Hello, I'm Patrick.
Hello, I'm Jeff.
Mine's dead.
Yeah, mine's a little bit dead as well. Oh no.
There you go.
Oh, we're scaring the dog.
Mine feels more like a Jack Russell farting. If you're wondering why we're wearing hats, and what are these called again?
I don't know.
Things. 50k? We hit 50k. 50k, or nearly 51 now.
Get his hat off quick enough.
I know. I'm going to wear him around my top.
I will wear mine on a slightly jaunty
Pass
angle.
me yours. I want to go full Madonna. If that's okay.
I don't think you're going to get that round your chest.
This is me. I can find a way. Life finds a way, Jeff.
Oh no.
Oh.
This could be interesting.
I did not think that this chat would get derailed so quickly.
I can do it. I've got this. There's one. There we
Jeff,
are.
I can't believe he's managed it.
Again, I find myself explaining to our audio-only viewers.
I got copper-coloured pointy cards.
Go almost Madonna. I feel like an Escher now, just a very bold Escher.
There you go. Do you know the frightening thing is? It doesn't feel like that's the first time you've done that. You just got straight.
I'm all over the place. It's my age. It's my age.
Oh, they do drink.
My wife's probably like got her head in her. She's watching this going, what?
Yeah, I'm just here going. All of our sponsors have left us.
They've left
the viewers
to go to my OnlyFans channel. That's what they're doing.
On the OnlyFans channel, he's just got them again, but that's all he's wearing. Well, he's wearing 3 of them, to be fair.
But the other one's really small. Anyway, hi everyone.
Yeah. Hello.
Welcome to the painting
Hey,
phase.
we reached 50,000 subscribers. Well done, chaps. Well done.
That was a nice surprise over half term for me.
Yeah.
It was pleasant. And we had a race in our WhatsApp group to try and screenshot it the fastest.
That was so slow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you lost. Me and Jeff got 50,000 bang on, but he beat me because he didn't crop his image. Oh. Yeah, I was there being, I want this to look really, really good.
If I really fess up, I wrote the congratulations about 45 minutes before. I just had a hovering in WhatsApp.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, clever.
Very good. Very
clever.
good. Very nicely done.
Thank you
But
very much.
We should probably take a moment and be like, wow.
Yeah,
Pat ourselves on the back for just talking and being absolute idiots on screen.
Yes.
And people wanting to watch. Weirdly.
I tell you what, I've like been hearing, because for this, obviously, I spend a lot of time editing, either sat in a room with you two,
Sorry about that.
or filming painting.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, and we had a giggle last week where I was like, you didn't pick up that berserker good enough. Like, I want you to do it again because that was crap.
And I spent the night like going, come on, you got this. Getting those fingers limber and stuff like that. I mean, when people are like getting ready for like runs or like marathons to do a lot of warming up and whatever, so I was like warming up my fingers.
You put on I could do Eye of the Tiger and then just picking up all berserkers
with dumbbells on my fingers, like
yeah, like and
visions of you running up the stairs at Derby Town Hall with just a berserker.
I was running up on my fingers. That's what I was doing.
Like going climbing, strengthening those tendons. And we had a joke about it, and it's silly, and then but hearing people say, "Oh, I really like watching the painting phase," it weirdly makes me feel uneasy because I'm like, "Oh yeah, people watch us." This is weird.
And to be fair though, last week's whenever this balances to when it goes out, but some of the photography in the corn episode was bang on. It was phenomenally good.
Well, this guy was trying some new sexy angles, which I was a big fan of.
Was ya?
Oh yeah. That's better in my head.
Yeah, really. Again, last time, really.
That policeman's dead. Somewhere between here and here, he's just like out.
The chat with who was it? We had a guest on because you were sat here, Jeff. So was it Dave?
Yeah, possibly
and,
Dave.
And I think Peachy at the end, you were trying to say something, and Jeff just went, "That went well," because it just went off the rails. Yeah, it was great.
That's what we do.
Yeah,
but weirdly,
you know what? If we sounded rehearsed and we practiced it all and then checked what we were going to say and all the rest of it,
You don't rehearse?
No.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Hang on.
I mean, well, he read
Yeah,
that.
I've got my up-to-date
from
email.
the-
Yeah, I've got my up-to-date email address. haven't you?
I mean, I have no personality. I just like have a script. I just like read off that. And luckily, we've got AI scripts, so I just like I see what I have.
Well, I tell you what, though.
ChatGPT.
The script work and the voice acting for the Surfshark advert was something to behold.
I don't know about the voice acting, but definitely the script.
I was like,
It's quite.
in my downtime, I like to watch romantic comedy. I love that. That was amazing.
Yeah. So
They're a big hit already, aren't they?
We
Yeah.
need to make a ranger then.
Everyone loves the Guardsman.
Yes, well, because interesting. We were like, well, we had that guard army, and maybe that could be a prize in a in a giveaway.
Yeah.
But it's like, I can't now because
You
I've
can
used
do,
them
but
in.
it'll come with no Carskin medic and no comms operator.
Yeah.
They're like they're going to miss that comms operator. I mean, send him away, please. Just get rid. Triggers me.
Yeah.
I always like the fact when you look at it in the 1970s. I always remember that was what the aerial looked like on the top of the vans that would find out whether you had a TV license.
I wasn't alive then, Jeff.
So I was told.
I grew up with a black and white TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had something on the back of it that looked very similar to that.
Yeah.
And when colour happened, it was like, ooh, colour.
What I'd go because colour TVs were the norm. I think this was just like we didn't have any money, so this was kind of like, oh, someone's giving us a TV, it's black and white, it's fine.
Yeah.
And I go to a friend's house and be like, oh my god,
Colour.
I don't remember when Channel 4 came into play, but I do remember when Channel 5 came into play, and it was literally just softcore porn for most of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
was
yeah,
rubbish.
I remember when
Absolute rubbish.
I remember when Channel 5.
I imagine that when not long after that, your biceps really started to appear.
just the left one. It's the remote, trying to get the remote.
That's what
Turn it
I
off,
was
turn it off.
I can't watch this filth in this puritanical
Euro
household.
trash. Well, you took that into the gutter straight away, didn't you?
So,
absolutely.
So as one of our Discord members on Patreon said this morning about the chat that me and Peachy had with Rob, the Honest Wargamer, he was like, I missed Jeff because there wasn't enough sexual innuendo for my liking. Well,
there you go.
You've got what you wish for.
I've got it all in quite quick in the first 5 minutes.
Was it even innuendo?
Again. Sometimes I don't think it's innuendo until I look at his face and then I realise, oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I tell you what, like, the growth of this channel stresses me out. I lose sleep over it.
In what way? What do you mean?
So, like,
What, that it's not going well or it's going too well? Or what?
No.
Need to work harder, Jesus Christ.
No. As in, like we're growing and we're successful. And it's like I feel like we've done that because we have some authenticity about us in that we're stupid.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh no, like I just signed a contract for like 6 sponsored videos with a company that we'll do like next month.
Yeah.
And we've had like Surfshark and some other people have got in touch and I'm like, oh my god, and we just sit here and we make jokes. And I'm like, what are they going to say? But they wouldn't have got in touch with us if they didn't like it. So I just have to I'm like balancing like business Patrick and then the other business Patrick.
Take Dave. I mean, he swears a lot on his.
He does,
he gets the sponsors and stuff.
yeah.
But I mean, you say we're successful. I mean, do we have 7 billion subscribers yet? Because until the entire world is watching us, we ain't
that's
successful.
true, yeah.
We need to work on those. These are
when
rookie
we get to
numbers.
that
yeah.
That money, when we get on the way to that, we'll have to start having a program of computers to the third world so they can sign up to watch us.
Oh no, we'll turn it into the first world. That's what we'll do. We'll go there with computers and TVs.
We fly a load of drones over in the sky and
that sounds menacing.
and then just see the sponsors, they've all left.
Small drones.
Yeah, that's
Amazon package drones. Is
Yeah.
that what we're talking?
Yeah, and just have like a TV, and then Jeff's face can just appear in the sky and be like, I got it in the first 5 minutes.
So you remind me. I do this a lot where I say things, and my wife doesn't believe me. Generally innocent things, and they sound rude, right? And I bet you get that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember we used to walk past to go to the tea room in the studio. There was a lady called Sonia, lovely lady. She used to do a lot of the sort of expenses, ordering stationery and stuff. And generally, she made the studio work because she was like a secretary, but the managers always went to her for help.
Yeah, like if someone left, you'd really notice her absence.
Oh yeah. Well, she went. It went downhill. I think that's where the whole of workshop just started to suffer after Sonia left. Sonia. No, so I remember we used to walk past him because her desk was right near the corridor, and then we'd go through the double doors to get to the tea room. We'd be having conversations, and she'd only get a snippet of the conversation, and you'd be walking past them, and then she'll just hear like me and like Duncan and Steve going and walking past, and I was like, yeah, so next time what I'm going to do is I'm going to beat off that column and I'm going to carry on. and then she'd be like, what the hell are they talking, beating off columns? What the hell is this? And obviously we're talking about French stuff.
That's
like French Napoleonic.
It's a strange name for it.
Well, you can call it what you want, can't you? But she used to get all sorts of like, just a little snippet here and there, like, and then I put it in his back. It's like, sorry, Sonia, sorry. She's just there, like, what are you talking about?
And that's why she left.
Yeah, probably actually. Yeah, she couldn't cope with the constant innuendos from the team.
All the inappropriate comments. Yeah,
understandable.
Yeah. Absolutely terrible.
That actually adds up, Pat. I didn't even consider that.
Oh dear.
So you had a topic.
God! Heresy. Something to do with the show.
40k Warhammer. We got that in right.
Yeah, great. No, I was going to say. Well, there's one thing that really annoyed me. So Dave came over and then he released a video shortly afterwards, and I messaged him. I was like, oh my God, I think I mentioned it before.
You did,
I was like, how on earth did you do that shot? And he was like, oh, it was this lens. So I bought the lens, and that arrived, and that was fine. But you need like a little controller for it, and it kind of fits in with all the sliders and stuff that I've got. And DHL kindly sent me a photo of the delivered item at someone else's house, and I've been trying to get it back for like 2 weeks. Oh, it's an absolute nightmare. I'm so stressed.
So it's still not. You don't know what house it is down this street. You're still not heard it, and they've not even dropped it round.
No,
how rude.
Well, because I was like, so this is like the etiquette with like someone else's house, and it's like, oh, they've had a delivery, they mustn't have been in, they will have left something, but it's been like 2 weeks. So at that stage I would be like, oh, I'll go and take it round. I took someone else's post to them recently because all these houses are a little bit set back from the road, and there's loads of flats and everything, and people get confused, bless them. So not necessarily the delivery. Do you think it's just
sitting on the because at the doorway to your place you've got that table with all the mail sits, sitting on there somewhere, and everyone's going, oh, I'm not Patrick, and just putting it back down again.
Oh, it's so annoying because it's like 500 quid. I'm like, it's a lot of money and I want it.
I mean, weirdly, I mean, this I don't get. I came back home one day and there was delivery of concrete bags on our doorstep, and I was like, what the hell's Liz ordered? What are we doing now? What's the new DIY job?
What are we doing?
Well, it's mainly her. She's the practical one. And there was like a sort of what do you call it, like an invoice on it, and it was for a house, and I don't even think it had 3s in it because we got a 3 in our number somewhere along the line, and that one didn't even have it. It was the same road and a completely different number, and I'm just like, how did you get this so wrong? So I had to walk up the street. I'm not carrying these bags. Knocked on the door. I was like, we've got a concrete order for you at our house, and the woman there was just like, are they stupid? Don't worry, I'll ring them and they can come and pick it up and bring it back properly. I was like, cool.
Absolutely.
Because she'd been waiting for it for ages, because they're having like an extension or something done to the house. So they'd obviously been ringing up going, where's our concrete? Oh, we've delivered it.
Idiots. I'm just in customer service hell at the moment, trying to email. They're like, oh, we'll give you an update on this day, and then 2 days later they're like, we'll give you an update in 2 days. And then,
why did it take so long to give you an update?
I don't know. I think they were trying to send someone over to pick it up and blah, blah. But anyway, this isn't why people tune in, is it?
But it's interesting that because I bet most of our viewers have the same thing where they because I wonder if sometimes if I've had mail that's just never turned up, because I ordered a made to order Sabbath Worlds book. So they put the Sabbath Worlds book, it was an art book, it's very nice. They put it on made to order on Workshop's website. I was like, I'm going to get that because the last one I didn't get in time, and it's really cool. It's full of art, because Raf, who is on the Twitch channel, had a copy, and I looked through it, I was like, this is amazing, I need to get it. And it came up on made to order, so I ordered it, and it could take up to 180 days. I think I waited 300 days before I thought maybe it's time to ask. So I got
waited almost a year.
Yeah, I waited almost a year. So I rung up customer services and I said, I've been waiting for this. I've given it a bit of time just in case, it took a while to to do, and I've had other things to think about.
Yeah.
She was like, okay, I'll check it. It's been delivered. I was like, I can assure you it hasn't been delivered. I've been waiting for it for ages, and we have a camera. So if you can tell me when it's been delivered, I can check to see if they've turned up at the door. She was like, oh, let's have a look. Apparently, no, it wasn't delivered. It was returned. I was like, but no one actually... So what day was this? And it was like sometime in like April or whatever. And I looked through like our camera, doorbell camera thing. I was like postman delivered there, postman delivered there, postman delivered there. No, it's fine. And what I think they did was they just couldn't be bothered, and they just left it and just... It's somewhere in a warehouse somewhere. So I got given an art book as sort of like compensation, and I was like, great, that's not really what I wanted, but thank you very much, because they worked really hard and they gave me some gift vouchers, because at that time, even though I'm staff, they still treat you as a customer, because you are a paying customer. But she looked high and low. This is the great thing about workshop customer services. They go above and beyond.
Yes,
good.
I do hear
GW.
nothing but good things about GW
absolutely. And she looked. I don't think she gave up, because she's like, Peachy wants his art book. He wanted this. He paid money for this, and
so whoever
Royal Mail screwed him over.
Yeah,
and then she found one. She found a copy, and she let me know, and then I got a copy, and it's a great book. So,
amazing.
I've had it for a while now. It's not getting giveaways, I'm afraid, folks. That's mine now.
I've got it.
It's mine.
I hate getting twitchy about these sorts of things because there's that bit of like, have I given it long enough before I complain, or am I just being impatient? And it's that, it's hard to know. I remember having a really lovely, which is in the barbershop, a really lovely alternate Jaws print. And it's really lovely because it's like looking down from the crow's nest, so you can just see the top of Quint's head, and Hooper's just sitting on the floor playing Patience, and Brody's looking out the back of the boat. You can see the stain where they've been throwing the meat over it. It's really cool. But that was one of them. I've paid about, I can remember, it wasn't massively expensive, but enough for a poster. I was thinking, well, where is it? Where isn't he? You think, I want to go, where's everything? And you go, how long did he take to print? I don't know. And
So speaking of deliveries, obviously there's been a bit of hoo-ha of like quilting. We touched on it. Which will go in the chat show that will go live today, but we filmed that like 2 weeks ago because we had like half terms and all that sort of stuff. So we filmed it when we were like, what's going on? And then there's lots of robots and factories that apparently aren't working, and GW are supposedly keeping stock for themselves and not sending it to
the third parties
and stuff like that. I keep getting emails from like Element Games being like, stock is extremely limited.
I saw a thread.
I was like, no, I want to buy 15 Desolation Squads.
Do you? Do? I saw a thread on Facebook, and it just appeared, and it got onto the subject of the Kill Team box set, and so many people were like saying, it's Wayland Games' fault because they overordered on Shadowfall. I was like, why are you blaming Wayland Games? They didn't make it. They just made... They ordered because it was a cool set that's got Kazakin in it, and all being hobbyists, I mean, people that are new to hobby might not realise how cool the Kazakin are from the metal ones that were out mid
20 years ago.
That was a long time. So there's a lot of older hobbyists that are just like, they're amazing, the plastic, I want them. And Wayland Games got that vibe. They read the room, so they ordered it, and obviously they didn't get the stock, so people weren't getting the stock because Workshop hadn't made enough.
And
I think, again, we talked about in the last video, which was like forecasting, a lot of the forecasting team aren't hobbyists, so they probably don't realise that was
that's
a big
interesting.
set. So there's loads of people chucking shade at Wayland Games as if it's their fault.
Because I was chatting to the painting coach, because I mentioned again on the chat with Dave, I was like, I just like listening to him say Balthazar Gold in his glorious Welsh accent, and he sent me a voice message.
I listened to it. It's my new favourite thing.
Like, my phone pinged one day, and I was like, Lloyd's messaged me, Balthazar Gold, and I was like, I love you, Lloyd.
That needs to be your message now when you get messages.
Just like Balthazar Gold. So. And he said that Wayland Games have been great because they've apparently been they have a business-to-business portion of their, like, I don't know anything about this, but they've been helping out like independent gaming stores and stuff like that with deliveries. So, So like, maybe they don't make a song and dance about it, but like, it's so easy to see as is with the internet today, I guess, you see something and you'd be like, well, facts,
yeah,
bad,
yeah. I mean, you know, it might not even be. We've talked about this at length. We're not always going to be blaming Workshop for everything, but
no,
it does feel, and I've experienced it before when I was in the studios. It does feel sometimes that there are folks that don't know the hobby, and then they're not sure how well they do because you don't want to keep stock in the warehouse. Yeah, that's the big thing for Workshop, and I get it because you don't want stuff that's not going to shift. Yeah, but not knowing not reading the room of what's going to be cool, and they're massively having a lower number. Yeah, that no one can get, and they're not doing the made to order after that. That's but then that might be printing
in like 6 months' time. They'll be like, "Hey, do you want to buy this squad but without any of the miniatures, and we'll just send you the decals in the box?"
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm all up for that. That's like Curse City without the figures, right?
Yeah, I was just going to be like, little Curse City reference.
Cheeky.
Yeah, I whisper into the microphone. And then we seem to have inadvertently started only hands being a bit of a buzzword.
Yes. Oh yeah. It's good. It's a good buzzword. So yeah, there's been a couple of channels talking about only hands now.
There's been a few developments, hasn't there? So I saw Louise posted a picture of her thumb.
I recognise that thumb though. That's the thing. I now know who it is. That's now doing masterclass. Without that profile picture.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that scum looks. I thought that thumb looked Scottish.
Yeah.
It's the kilt it was wearing.
They're nothing if not consistent on their clothing up there.
Yeah. Shout out to all the Scots.
Yeah.
So there was loads of interesting comments on that video when we released it.
Yeah, it really.
And other people have touched on it as well, and had some really good points. So Hellstorm Wargaming did a video recently where he was like drama, and
Paint Bravely did.
Paint Bravely. So like Goober Town has posted on Twitter. It was quite interesting actually. I googled Goober Town, and Google gives you like the next things, and the first one I typed in Goober Town, and it said drama. So Brent, if you're watching, Google thinks you're spicy.
Good. You keep rocking the boat, bud. Keep rocking the boat.
Yeah. So there's some really interesting points raised, and I think like when we're having chats about this, I'm conscious that I don't want to be like the We Hate Games Workshop channel.
We're just realistic, aren't we?
Whilst simultaneously painting loads of their product, which we really like, and we love the hobby.
Yeah,
I would say I have the same mindset. So when you work for a company, right, you have to be on brand and toe the party line. Even then, I would push back in meetings or like in conversation. I don't agree with that. I think that's rubbish or whatever. Yeah, but you can't publicly say that. So when you're on live and stuff, you have to go, Curse City's great.
Yes. Yeah.
It's really good. So you can't paint it and show it. But I remember when I was a customer, my biggest early bugbear with Workshop, and this really annoyed me, and this was like for a hobbyist that's young. So I think I was probably like 15, 16.
Yeah.
So we'd got the box set of Warhammer. And it was the Lizman versus Bretonian set, so I can't remember which edition that is, 6th or 5th. And Dad got the Siege book, so we started building up our armies. Well, that's where we really got into like doing proper big games of Warhammer. And I saved up all my pocket money and my birthday money to get the Magic box set. There's a box set full of magic cards, magic spells. It was like all the different sort of laws and disciplines and like loads of magic items. I literally went into the shop. I was like, I've been saving up for this. I can't wait. I'm going to get that. And the guy's like, cool. Took the money off me, went away, came back the next weekend, new edition's out. Never mentioned, because all the magic's in the new edition. All the magic items in the new edition. Everything I bought was what was no longer relevant to the game. So at that time, £25 to a 15-year-old.
Oh, that's a hell of a lot of money.
Is a lot of money. Yeah. And then the new book comes out, which is £25.
All the way back then.
Yeah, and that was like they would have known because you'd have known at that point.
Yeah, that the new version's coming out.
So he just wanted the cash for his store. He wasn't interested in doing the right thing.
It's close. It's like what's name was really close, wasn't it, as well?
So I was made sure when I was in retail that would never happen on my watch.
Yeah, that's good.
Prior Nexus.
Oh yeah,
that was sailing close to the wind, wasn't it? The very Prior Nexus was the very last thing they made for last edition into Kill Team. Yeah, they suckered everybody in by going, it's the first place you can get all the heavy intercessors.
Yes.
and everyone was, hey, great. And then the scenery was really decided.
It was just
like
some doors.
Tokens and doors. Yeah. I mean, it was like
some
an upgrade sprue.
like Necron blocks, wasn't it? Sort of thing, like power blocks and like,
still got
energy
those.
supply and stuff.
Yeah.
And then literally people bought it and went, this isn't very good. You know, people going, this isn't very good. It's mainly for them new figures. And people bought it anyway. And then within weeks they went, and Kill Team 3rd version is now out.
Yeah. That's interesting. You know. So on the subject of something we were fairly even in our spread. So I was going to say earlier, like, I'm conscious of like, we don't want to hate on DW, but lots of the comments that I've read and all that sort of stuff, I'm just like, brother, Kit, right? So
he got crossed, didn't he?
Yeah. So
he said a bad word, everybody. I'm a little bit upset. He said a big bad word.
So yeah, I'm going to ask you a question, and it's going to be very pointed. Tinfoil hat on. So in
pop a hat on. You can have one of them party hats.
Oh yeah, because usually
boob armor.
Yeah,
deflect all those arrows.
So, did you with painting presenters being taken away from the camera?
Yeah.
Do Games Workshop hate women, or do they hate painting presenters? So I'm gonna. It's a very pointed question, and obviously, it's a bit clickbait and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But if we look at,
is that going to be the title of the show? To Games Workshop hate women?
Do Games Workshop hate women?
That gets some views.
Quite. So it may be indirect discrimination. So this is my logic to try and get to that question. So okay. Duncan left, Peachy left. Congratulations. And as a reaction to that, they have taken the painting presenters' faces and names off of all the videos.
Mm-hmm.
But the battle presenters are still there, aren't
exactly.
they? That's a sausage fest.
The painting, the painting presenting team is 3/4 female.
It is. Mm-hmm.
So there's Louise, there's Lizzie, and there's Emma.
Yep.
And then Adam is the only male in the painting team.
Mm-hmm.
The battle report team, all faces, they have their names on there. This week in Warhammer, I listened to it yesterday, and the chap goes, "Hello, my name's Alex," and his name comes up. Alex Doddy comes up on the screen.
We like Alex. Alex is nice.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like he can stay.
He doesn't he's not in charge of anything. They go, "Put your awesome voice to this," and he goes, "Okay."
I tell you what's interesting, that Alex hasn't been mentioned as part of being proud of part of the team to present.
So, the logic is right. Okay. If they don't like painting presenters because they're scared that they'll leave, they've taken the names off. But then there's like a weird divide in that. Like, I wonder if Simon and Ben went, let's go make our own Bat-Rep channel, and they left, how long would it be until it was like, hello, my name is Top Down Hands, and I'm playing with myself.
Yeah. Just can't get away from that this week.
I think it's indirect stupidity. I think they're not really.
Yeah.
What's the word? It's either incompetence or willful.
Yeah.
And both of those are bad.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So
like, I don't think they hate painting presenters. I don't think they hate women. But looking at the situation, like, it is just stupid.
It doesn't read very well.
I think it's a knee-jerk reaction to people going, these people have left because they don't like their jobs. Like, let's try and make the job better. No, let's try and stop people from leaving.
They don't. But as I've been told, people don't leave jobs; they leave managers.
Yeah.
I'll leave that for the rest of the people to make their own minds up. I've been working there for a long time. My fondest memories are over 10 years old. When I used to work in the studio.
Yeah.
Wow.
With the army painting team.
When you were the manager.
Everyone's wearing boob armour and you're going to like it. And nothing else. No, I mean, before I was the manager, it was when I was in the hobby team. It was me, Rhodes, Steve, Dave Andrews, Mark Jones. They were the fondest memories I've ever had. And if anyone was to say, what was your high point of workshop, it'll be then. It'll be 2008 till 2014, 2015, something like that. But yeah, it's Brent made a really good point saying, what is workshop doing wrong? That it's the better option is someone to leave a salary of the biggest company that makes toy soldiers, and they are the biggest company to make toy soldiers.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And being the face of that company to go off and make their own channel.
Yeah.
How is that a better option?
Yeah. Yeah, that was really interesting.
Yeah, and it was a very good point. Yeah. And thank you, Brent, for putting those words into context, because I never really thought about it that way. It's just like, why was that for me a better option?
Yeah, like you're the painting face of the biggest miniatures company in the world, and you're like, nah, I'm all right.
Yeah. And I'm going to say it flat as well now. I love Games Workshop as a company, as the soul of Games Workshop. I love what it stands for. It makes cool toy soldiers. It talks about goblins and demons and knights and like sci-fi troopers and stuff like that. And the majority of the people that work there, bloody love them too, because they're amazing people. They're really creative, really. So when we are negative about it, it's not about those people. It's not about the products. No. It's sometimes about decisions and people higher up the food chain that seem to think that making, I mean, I've already heard that there's a whole bunch of people that I really like and fond of at Workshop. They're already leaving because they're sick and tired, and it's like, you've been there decades.
Yeah.
So why is it now that you're getting stressed out when you're making goblins? Why did I get stressed out making and painting goblins? Why can people make that job so hard? I mean,
you're just painting dollar men, aren't you?
we had, as you full well know, Pat Price. His job was a policeman in the Met.
Armed policeman
and counter-terrorist armed policeman. And he left there to come to Games Workshop. No, I prefer going back there and being a copper.
You know when your job's bad, when you'd rather go back to risking being shot at.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, there was a guy that was he was in the army, and he decided it's better off if I become a private military contractor again.
Yeah,
and go and get paid by some Saudi oil baron to protect him and his family.
Yeah,
that's more exciting and less stress. It's goblins. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I find it fascinating that companies get to that point where they grow so much, they get so big that they forget what they're actually there for, and then they make staff.
The thing is, it's
just miserable.
Literally, this is the problem. Is it's fixable. I'm not.
It's incredibly fixable.
I'm not suggesting that painting presenters get treated better than the guy who works in the warehouse or whatever. But
I think they do.
But no, yeah, they do. And I'm not suggesting they should with what I'm about to follow on with. But if you are the visual representation of your company, well, the first visual representation of your company is what you make.
Yeah.
But then directly after that is the people that you can see on media.
Yeah.
You should really be helping to... Because if the simple answer isn't it? If you treated them well enough, they wouldn't go and start their own YouTube channels, would they?
No.
If you treated them well enough, they would stay. And and if you looked after them well enough, then you wouldn't have this situation. But it's if you treat your face of the company that badly that they go, then you go, well, it's all downhill from there for everybody else that works at that company, isn't it, really?
I think I'm going to go on to a topic in a minute, which is nicely segued for this, but a lot of what I hear now is the reasons why I left and the reason why Duncan left is because our egos are too big, and it's because we thought we were better.
The conspiracy theory.
The conspiracy theory from Hellstorm Gaming.
Is this the old?
Yeah, so someone. I've got it there. I'm going to read it out. So I mean, we could probably screenshot and put it up.
If you haven't seen it, guys, and
scrub the name out of the person, obviously. So I mean,
this is 100% fact.
Yeah.
Strap yourself in, people.
I always find it really funny that someone that has now seen a couple of third, fourth hand bits of information has now decided what my personal circumstances were and the reason for me leaving. I was like, cool. I mean, you could ask.
I read it and almost went off you. I was so stunned by what you'd done.
I went off me. So what have we got? We've got Peachy didn't leave. He was coaxed into leaving. He was talking to people about upcoming stuff he had given to do tutorials for, which broke NDA. Did I? When did I do that? Please tell me when I did that.
You know, the really funny thing is, button into that. I remember a long time ago when you hadn't long started with us, I said to you, they showed the back of the new tank, the Rogel Dawn, is there? The Rogel Dawn tank was in shot with Angron. Yeah. And you said to me, is he a new tank? And considering your splashing company secrets all over the place, I knew more about a tank coming out than you, and you work there.
My biggest security sort of barrier, not barrier. What's the word? security protection for me was to never look at the community website. Oh no, look at the community website, but never look at the dam, never look at stuff that was upcoming.
Yeah.
Because I only saw what was being delivered to other people at that time.
Yeah.
So there's no chance of me tripping up and saying the wrong thing, going, no, this model's coming out, because there was, and it still is the case, there's so much stuff being pumped out that it's easy to... Because
I know you're not the only person in community that does that. Because they're worried about tripping up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, and that'll be, you know, not just a slap on the wrist, that'll be quite a big sort of like potentially your career's over kind of thing. Yeah. Depending on how which product it was that you'd accidentally leaked by accident. So but yeah, so I always used to protect myself by never looking until it was on community. And then when he was like, the new tank, I was like, there's a new tank. That's cool.
Because I remember as well, like, and you've mentioned it before on the show, you were like, you know, knowing that you were leaving, you want to be extra vigilant. Yeah. Because if, like, we need to like look after ourselves to a certain extent. Because, you know,
Valrak's got all that sewn up. Just leave it to him.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, I've leaked some stuff.
We'll talk about him. We'll finish this.
Which broke my NDA anyway. So that's a non-disclosure agreement. If anyone's not sure what an NDA is, because you know you might be 12 and watching this going, what the hell was an NDA?
And you broke it.
I broke it apparently. But GW knew it was not a great idea to openly fire their painting face, and so told it to leave gracefully. Did I?
I don't know what ungracefully would look like as you walk through the car park.
So they told you to leave, and then it just so happened that...
I mean, I wish I had a golden handshake. That would have been great. That would have helped with equipment, right, and getting a premises.
And then, you just got on your bike and drove and found yourself here?
Yeah, apparently that's how it worked, yeah.
Idiot.
Granted, this is an extreme example. No, it's wrong. It's just wrong. It's not an extreme example. It's just wrong. But it makes sense why. No, it doesn't. It's all made up. They either get people who become famous from GW and then leave to try and start a competitor, or people who tarnish the brand. Well, yeah, sure.
So what would you have done? You get...
I just found it really funny. This was just made a story up for me. It's great.
Yeah. But like in one thing I picked up on in marketing is your sense. So say Soul Shackle it was released last Saturday, whatever. You're sent it a couple of weeks beforehand to get it painted and get the tutorials out.
I'd say probably a month before it's released.
But then it's at that stage it's been announced and it's all on community, all the sprues, everything.
So the Imperial Guard one's a perfect example. Before I left, we had 2 weeks put in to the schedule for Imperial Guard. Yeah. And I had no idea what there was. And bearing in mind, in my head, I already knew I was leaving because I wasn't asked to leave gracefully. I wasn't going to get fired because we'd already decided that we were going to go off and do
someone with a bow tie and a cigar came and they're like... Would you awfully mind leaving?
I hear you've been breaking NDA again, Mr. Peach.
Yeah.
But so
please do so gracefully.
And a monocle and a top hat, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
and you got your maracas out
whilst riding the bike with my thighs somehow. But so we just had 2 weeks of Astra Militarum just written down, so I had no idea what was in there, and we just planned we'll just do Cadian 8th and look at those colour schemes, and until we know what those products are. Well, I assume there'll be vehicles. I assume there'll be troops. Someone had said, "Oh, have you seen the new Astra Militarum backpacks?" And I was like, "That's the Cadian 92nd that I did with the heavy weapon backpacks." I think you'll find. Pans out, it's actually it's new Cadians. I didn't know until we got that set. I was like, "Oh, we got backpacks."
But that is super interesting. That
I love it. I love the fact now that I've there's a conspiracy theory about how I left because I'm such a bad guy.
I want to know where did someone did the person who put the poster of that literally just sit down and just write themselves some fan fiction?
Yes, it's either fan fiction or someone that works for the company that just wants to spread rumours and lies.
Yes.
It does make you wonder sometimes.
And then it might have gone through 3 or 4 hands and changed a little bit.
Having worked in military intelligence, I'm now curious to know, because not that I want to go and work for Games Workshop, but I'd be tempted to go and work for them if I found out the Games Workshop had a disinformation department, because I've done that sort of stuff before.
That's next to the department, next to the leaks department.
Yeah. They're all part of the same thing. They're all part of the same. I mean, people believe that the leaks are done purposefully.
Someone sitting there going, that channel Peachy's on's doing well. Give me 10 minutes.
Everyone's left now because I broke NDA apparently.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Naughty Peach.
Yeah, no, I'm a bad person. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Terrible person.
It
was all willing. Left on good terms. No one. I mean, everyone stayed for a drink at Bugman's. I went and said, I'm leaving on this date. If anyone wants to meet and say goodbye, I'll be having drinks. And a lot of people turned up. And we had some drinks, and then I went into town with a load of my friends.
That's lovely.
From work. So I guess that was very gracefully done.
On a penny farthing, no less.
Yeah, mad. But I found that really funny because you shared it to me.
Before you were there, you didn't realise that they were all sitting around going, have we got to go for the drinks with this NDA breaking brother? Afraid so. We've all agreed to it now.
Do we have to? Yeah. No managers turned up there. Just saying.
That's because they knew all about you.
Yeah, because they're the one that asked you to leave gracefully.
Coached him.
Yeah. It was like a ballet, and then they got to the door and they just like pushed.
How did you get coaxed into leaving? Trails and M&M's all the way down to the office.
Yeah, it's just,
to be fair, that would work.
A trail of sweets, and it ends with your P45.
I mean, like James Wood in Family Guy going, "Oh, piece of candy."
Yeah,
oh, piece of candy. Piece of candy.
You get all the way out, and there's just someone from HR stood there with an empty bag of M&M's.
Yeah. Because I feel like if you're being coaxed, it's like you're being persuaded.
Isn't that constructive dismissal?
He's being persuaded to leave. Going, do you know what? I think you'd be doing really well if you had your own YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Oh, will you send me some stuff? No.
Yeah.
Like yourself.
I did have a giggle when I read that.
Yeah. You found it, didn't you?
Yeah.
But I was just like reading it and go, this is interesting. I really want to, I'm not going to comment because I won't do that, but I just want to find out more about myself from this person. They seem to know an awful lot about how I left and the circumstances and, the NDA breaking Peachy that existed. So,
Okay, so with this train of thought of this anonymous commenter, what would be the conspiracy theory? We'll say right now it's absolutely not true because we're just going to make it up. What's the conspiracy of why Duncan left?
Duncan left because he used to actually have his own trailer in the car park, which is true. He had his own trailer in the car park, and he used to get quite angry when people didn't separate his Smarties into separate colours in different bowls.
Like on his rider.
Yeah, and Roger would often try and calm him down, but I think because of the aura of Duncan's anger would affect Roger as well, that it used to make him angry. And when a South African sounds angry, it's very offensive.
Yeah, it's frightening.
And there was people like Daz going, why is Duncan's trailer bigger than mine? Who is he? I'm a better painter. I'm Daz Latham. I mean, he'd go into like his appraisal and go, I'm Daz Latham. Who are you? So,
oh my God.
So I think what it was Duncan's trailer took up too much space in the car park. At that time as well, car parking was quite a problem for workshops. So like, we have to get rid of the trailer. And Duncan was like, I'm out. I'm gonna leave and get my own trailer.
Airstream to the back of the car.
Yeah.
Could you just point your mic towards you a bit more, James?
Sorry.
And
thank you.
it wasn't just that; it was the constant drowning puppies in the canal.
Heresy.
He didn't do that.
That's how Rhinox hide's made.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's fact. So what did you hear?
So what I heard
you have to go some to beat that.
Yeah. So no. So I heard that the conspiracy theory that is 100% true of why Duncan was pushed out of the business because everybody knows, you get the impression when you watch his videos that he is just a very aggressive man.
Yeah, I get that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Roger only went with him because he's in
fear of his life.
His aura of influence.
Yeah, of course.
And the painting videos got really good, and as soon as that one got over like 1 million views, he would just go around punching staff.
Yeah.
And then Daz Latham set up his own like YouTube channel with his own tutorials, and Duncan didn't like the limelight being taken away from him.
Yeah, so they had a fight in the car park, didn't they?
So they had a fight.
Yeah.
And like you were there.
I was a ref. I was Duncan's second.
You had some,
in case he didn't turn up.
You had some booty shorts on, and you were like round 1, holding the sign up.
Don't forget that.
yeah. You had booty shorts and 2 paper pie hats on. Oh dear, it's like that Lynx advert where you think he's training to be a boxer, but then he's just training to hold up the sign. There was a whole montage of that.
Yeah.
And then that's why Darren's videos got taken down, because
Duncan broke his arm and he had to,
that's it. Yeah, I heard like almost like American History X, but he put his hand on a curb and was just like, "You're never going to paint again," and like stamped on his hand. And then after that, he was politely and delicately asked to leave.
Yeah,
coaxed.
Yeah,
they were like, "Duncan, we love you, but maybe you'd do well on your own." And you'd get $1 million if you made your own paint range.
Yeah, and he was in the Rhino at the time, running over people's cars, so it was really awkward to try and get him out.
I know the actual truth as to why he left.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he decided that not only being as important as he was, that he should be having a share of the merch.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, right.
And what he wanted was a double-skinned rain mac that had
cool.
2 thin coats written on the back of it.
Yeah.
And when Games Workshop said, that's a ridiculous idea, we're not going to move into double-skinned rain macs, that was it. So.
Did you know the extra accessory he wanted was when you zipped up to the top, it was his face?
Oh, you just kept zipping.
Sorry, Pat, you're trying to choke on a digestive.
I can't understand why Games Workshop didn't go for it.
Aldi's own dark chocolate digestives for our patrons who sometimes we neglect by not showing them the biscuit can.
What are you on, Jeff?
What am I on? A diet.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's not the right words for somebody who eats too much, is it? Go ahead.
And on the table, you might be able to see some Mr. Kipling delectable raspberry sponge.
Oh.
Do you like it when you go onto the Weight Watchers channel and it says, "Would you like cookies or not?" It's like, oh, come on. No, I don't want cookies.
Well, it's like when you have to do a speed awareness course. It's on Zoom.
Oh, very good.
But anyway, I want to just a quick segue. It just occurred to me this morning. It's a really terrible dad joke. When you're in the barbers,
yes,
and you've got people waiting, is it a barbecue?
It is a barbecue. Yeah,
cool. Just wanted to check. And are you classed, if there's more than one of you, classed as barbarians?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, sorry.
Sensational.
I just want to know.
We answer all the burning topics on
this.
This.
My head for ages. Is it a barbecue?
We answer all the burning topics on this show.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just loving the conspiracy theories, man. That's so fun.
Well, what's your conspiracy theory for me then?
Oh,
that's what I want to know. Because I can tell you the actual truth after you've all guessed.
Okay.
Or facted.
Okay. So, you witnessed all of the 100% fact stuff that we just talked about.
Yeah.
Like the story. We just picked an element of the story of why Duncan left. It was actually all 3.
Yeah.
And the morph suit that had his face on as well.
Yeah.
So everyone could just walk around like a Duncan clone.
It was a full print as well, which is weird.
Yeah. Everywhere.
So weird.
So you witnessed that.
Yeah.
And you were like,
I hadn't.
Well, like, he left, and it was like the scene from that film with Tom Hanks, and you were like, I am the captain now. And you took everybody hostage.
Yeah.
And a few people escaped, but you were just like, I'm not going to say needlessly aggressive, but, very militant.
Definitely cross.
Yeah. You wanted that power, but sadly, you had a crippling addiction to tea and biscuits.
Yep. I still struggle to this day.
Yeah.
Well, it's made worse because we're just enablers.
I know. I mean,
Yeah. And you put me on the spot, and my memory's just fading.
I mean, it didn't help that when the new guys turned up, if they didn't present particularly.
So yeah, this is it. So yeah, you were the sole face of painting, and you weren't allowed to do any painting when Warhammer Plus was being developed. And you didn't like that.
I did not like that
at all. So you just got more and more angry. And
just like this in the room.
Yeah. So you spent your time instead of filming painting, just beating Joe, your videographer. You're just like, let's go to the painting studio. And he's like, we don't have anything to film.
In the morning, I was like, what's your name? He was like, Joe. I was like, what's your name? Punchbag. That's right.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and, remember that. And because you could hear him cry in the toilet.
Yeah, but you put the oranges in a pillowcase so it wouldn't leave a bruise.
The fact you know that scares me.
I watched some prison dramas recently, and they just beat the crap out of each other.
Are they easy peel satsumas or just big hard oranges?
It has to be the big hard orange. Well,
because I was going to say easy peel satsuma.
Depends what sort of mood you're in when you got it.
Yeah. If you felt
I'm in a good mood, you're only getting satsumas today.
Yeah.
But there's 12 of them.
Yeah. But you were, and then the new blood arrived. And then things just went downhill from there.
Because they're all women, apart from Adam.
Yes.
We know what I'm like with women.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not like that at all. I'm just
no. So
don't believe that.
Yeah, I'm going to stop talking before we get in more hot water. don't leave us sponsors. So you were terrible, megalomaniac, egotistical. You couldn't take the pressure from the new blood coming in and being like, well, I want to paint like this, and you were like, no, and you paint like this.
And I made them present exactly like I presented.
Yes,
100% exactly like how
to the point where they'd wave at the camera and go, "Hi, I'm Peachy," and that's why the names got cut because they
kept saying Peachy.
They were like,
they're so brainwashed.
They were like, just say your own name, and they were like, but they just start rocking backwards and forwards. I can't.
It was the shaving of the heads that was the last one, which is why they were only hands, because I got to wait for the hair to grow back.
Poor Louise. Okay, Jeff, why did Peachy leave?
He left because they couldn't create a vaccine fast enough for the fact that it's all to do with that NDA.
Yeah.
That nasty affliction that you had. And that was it, really. It just spread through the company like wildfire. It was awful. They just couldn't get a virus together quick enough, and then COVID struck, and it just when Games Workshop just went down because of COVID. It wasn't because of COVID. It was the NDA.
You've triggered an old memory, which I think do I mention it or not? And
no, good God, no,
screw it.
Oh, here we go again. Strap yourself back in.
Strap yourself in. So I remember my early days being in not retail. I'd say I moved over to the studio. And there was a couple of guys that used to work in the scenery making department it was called Q Lab because they'll have to bond.
Oh, cool! And
they had something on their wall, and I was like, "What's this?" And it was like loads of arrows and loads of like things pointing, and it was called the clap map. And I was like, "What's the clap map?" And I was like, "Well, because there's a lot of I won't call it incest, but obviously within." Workshop.
It's a big
lot
company.
Of relationships and
incestuous relationships.
A lot of people would move around partners quite frequently at head office. These two decided they were going to try and find the patient X because there's so many people like walking around like scratching and this, that, and the other. I was just like, so he's got it and he dated her and she dated that guy. So I think it's this. So they had this map of like they were trying to work out who patient zero was, who spread the clap across Games Workshop at that time. That was like 2007.
You know, often on this show I get accused of going too far. I wouldn't have told that story.
I thought it was one of those things that just a fond memory of Workshop. A fond memory of Workshop.
Well, so you were like, my fondest memories were when everyone had STIs.
Well, it was just such a weird sort of like, because I was so isolated working in like a retail shop.
Yeah.
And it was just me and like Duncan and a guy called Nige and Alex and Neil. I'm just name chucking. You're all out there again. Yeah, you know you are. And there's 5, 6 of us. We all get on. We play games in the evenings. We've all got partners. We do our duty in the store. We get kids excited about the hobby. We go. Then you move to head office and it's a whole different environment. It's very weird.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to get used to that sort of environment. It was just weird, like, you know, lots of parties, because the retail used to do lots of like big parties. They used to close off Bugman's for like the managers meetings, and they used to do like beer nights, which was like a free bar. They used to do the boat races and stuff. That ended up getting cut down because it came a bit too laddish and a bit too over the top, to the point that's like people would be thrown up everywhere. I remember I went to Bugman's toilets that night because we were asked to go as our favourite groups, and our regional at the time was a big fan of the Spice Girls, so we all had to go as the Spice Girls. So I went as Old Spice. So I just wore a bottle, but yeah, I had to dress up as a Spice Girl. So I was in like a yellow dress. I thought I looked pretty hot. I quite like tights; they feel quite nice. My dad used to say when he was in the army, tights are quite good for keeping your legs warm. So I was like, I can see that now. I can appreciate that. They are very nice. See why people wear tights. They're very comfortable. There was only 15 denier, so they weren't super thick. And then I was in this like outfit, and I was like, I need to go to the toilet. So I went to the toilets.
I love that detail.
You know,
of all the things that you're about to talk about, venereal diseases, yellow dresses, all the rest of it, I like the fact that it was important with new outfit.
I'm so scared of where this is going.
So I went to the toilets, and every sink. So someone had been drinking so much that they were so sick.
Yeah,
every sink was full of sick. It's full of sick, every single one of them. And I just wanted to go to the toilet and wash my hands. And I had these nightmares about like
rearrange your tights.
Yeah, get the ladders out.
And in the end, I was like, I'm going home. I found another toilet, went to another toilet, and that was fine. And me and my buddy both decided we're gonna go home. We're just gonna go, because we went back to the hotel, and he was like, can't be bothered to tomorrow. Let's just get a taxi back to Derby. And a taxi at that time was about 30 quid to Derby. So I waited for him. The taxi was waiting. I waited. He'd obviously fallen asleep, so I was like, sod it, I'll get in the taxi. Got in the taxi, got to Derby. Guy dropped me off. And I was like, I'm not going to get a taxi all the way to my home. I'm going to walk. So I am in this yellow dress. Dude, yellow dress. I was like, walking back through Derby. It was an interesting evening. But yeah, it was, they were horrible things. I think those old manager meetings were. The after parties were.
Crikey.
Were definitely different. And I'm glad they don't exist anymore.
I think listening to that story, I think STIs was the least of games.
Yeah, I mean, that was
so why did you leave?
Good God. I didn't touch on that at all, did I? No. I just digressed completely. I mean, we are off topic as always. I mean, that's what we do.
I think this has been the most derailed episode we've ever done.
Did you say derailed or deranged?
And both, but I'm absolutely here for it. Yeah.
But actually, the main reason I left was it was the constant walking down the corridor with a baseball bat, getting to the filming studio, whacking it on the door, all the new presenters, faces white, scared as heck, sweat,
shaved head,
and they're going, I'm trying. And then poor Lizzie with a long red lock, she's like,
with a blunt razor.
Do it. And it was a blunt razor. I'd used it for my legs.
Yeah. For what? For wearing that dress?
You don't want any hair poking.
No, I wanted my 15 denier tights back on again because they're very comfortable. Don't judge me. I like them. No judgment. It was just a constant, just the fear tactics, the megalomania.
You're like, it's hard being the boss, isn't it?
It is. It's tough up top, apparently. Yeah. And I just let power get to my head to the point that I became evil, and it took a small halfling cleric to come along and go, you have become what you sought to defeat. And I was like, oh, I've become the bad guy. She was like, yes, you've got all sorts of, you're wearing people's faces. You've made that manager's head into like shoulder armor.
And then did Batman turn up and he was like, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah, and there I am just flipping like paint
and you're
pots
like,
going,
go away, Batman.
Mitt lawn. So
so you've heard it here. That was officially why Chris Peach left Games Workshop.
And all the sex best comments going around. Yeah. Because of the post room getting that wrong.
Oh, yeah.
No, that was not true. I mean, obviously that story was true that we talked about last time, but yeah.
I don't know how we bolt any more conversations.
Well, I think we should move on to a nice gift we got given.
Ooh.
We got given, I got sent.
We're not going to get this person in trouble, are we?
Well, I've asked, and he didn't seem that bothered, but I will put the name, I'll double check, and we can always bleep it out.
Yep.
So, an author who did this is a bunch of short stories, contacted me on Twitter. Was like, I don't even know. I did a book about ventrally nobles. I was like, you did? Because I've been out of. I remember the days when I could keep note of all the books that used to come out, and like most of the workshop products, there's just so many now I can't keep track of it. I'm just like, which one's which? And he sent us one each. I think we should do a book club and read the story and maybe have a bit of a so
it's like a bunch of short stories, isn't it? So
Rob Young wrote. It is called. I remember the name. Something Void. Where are we? It's called The Roar of the Void by Rob Young. And it's about the Ventrili Nobles, which are a tank regiment of Ventrili Nobles, and they're amalgamated with a Talon Desert Raider. And there's an Inquisitor that's been sent because the planet they've just been to is dealt with a load of Chaos Uprisings. Is that your dog snoring?
Listen, just stop. Listen.
Oh, put your mic like underneath the table.
I actually thought it was my belly. Can we hit the dog? Stop now.
Oh.
Stage fright.
So
Inquisitor gets sent and
performance anxiety happens to a lot of people. Apparently.
Oh yeah. And has to root out heresy because there's a chance that there's some heretics in the Ventrilian nobles. How
good God, I can't imagine that.
So I'll soon get to the end, and I might love or hate Rob at the end of this, depending on what he does to my beloved army.
Yeah, well, I mean, you were obviously
he sent us a nice message as well.
From what we've learned today, you were an egotistical megalomaniac, so he probably killed them all.
Yeah. He was probably asked to.
It's very kind of them.
He's had to erase all remnants of Chris Peach at Games Workshop.
Yeah, all remnants. All those little bits of graffiti on the toilets.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about Cubicle 4?
Yes.
Have I ever done it on here?
I think it was the cleaners and the rod.
Yeah.
I think it might be in the one that.
Maybe I did. Yeah. Yes, I think I did.
We talked about it recently. Yeah.
I'm old. I just say the same things nowadays. Whenever I meet family, I just repeat what I said the last time I met them.
When we turn the cameras off, we're just going to pop you back in your wheelchair.
Did I ever tell you that someone thought I was?
Your carer's here.
So
somebody thought what? Sorry.
So I went to, I think it was Las Vegas Open, and I was doing a seminar, and I'd gone off to get some more water or get a cup of tea, and people were filtering into the room where the seminars were being done.
Yeah.
And I walk in, and this guy got up, I was like, oh my God, I always thought you were in a wheelchair. And I was like, well, I do sit down and do painter lessons. I mean, that's a really random way to introduce yourself, but yeah, cool.
Do you think you were Patrick Stewart?
Yeah.
Do you think it was the X-Men?
Maybe that's what he was getting at. Maybe he thought I was Xavier.
Oh, there was like a joke that you just weren't in on.
It just went over my head.
Yeah, because you were sat down.
Because it was so smooth.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
Yes, thank you for the books.
That's really
I've started
kind,
reading mine. It's cool. Enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's good. Rooting. It's more like a crime solving thing so far. It seems like
sounds cool.
Investigations going on.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Pretty
sounds cool.
Fantastic.
Right.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Have we burned through everything we needed to speak about?
I mean, I don't.
We didn't need to talk about any of this.
I don't think we needed to talk about a great deal of this show.
Yeah, that's true. But if we hadn't, so there's been about 12 minutes long.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I've got loads of topics that I want to cover. I mean, but we'll save those for the next chat.
I learned recently that cheesecake isn't technically a cake, so I need to have.
What is it? Is it a flan?
I don't know. I don't know what it is, to be honest. But I need to have a new favourite cake now.
Jaffa.
It's a good excuse for trying out other cakes, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a good excuse. Jaffa cake is a cake. Well, the Biscuit Society took them to court.
Yeah.
It's such a British story. It's amazing. It's like, it's not a cake, it's a biscuit. And apparently they made a big one, and they were like, look, it is a cake.
Yeah.
And cakes go hard and biscuits go soft.
Yeah,
and a Jaffa cake goes
Richard
hard.
Osman had this on Twitter, didn't he? He said, I don't want to rock the boat, but a Twix isn't a chocolate bar, it's a biscuit.
Yeah.
And I think
I discovered something very interesting about, I think it's Roundtree's. So I watched this. This is really boring for anyone watching, so you might want to turn off now. No, don't. It's an interesting story. So there was a company in the 1800s called Roundtree's, who would obviously make like
fruit pastels.
But at the time, chocolate was quite a decadent thing that only the middle class and upper class could afford.
Like pineapples.
Yeah. So
or in the world we currently live in, cucumbers.
So there's apparently weird cucumbers and red peppers.
I saw a headline. Apologies for interrupting. I saw a headline just scrolling through my phone, and it was from like a broadsheet newspaper, and it said, Europeans mocking British by taking photos of full shelves.
I went into Aldi yesterday and I bought 12 eggs and a cucumber. And as I put them on the counter, I said to the guy, I'm stunned I've managed to get both of these items in one visit. And he went, yeah, things are a bit tight at the moment getting them.
Then he said, £400, please.
Yeah, and I said, I'm going to go home and I'm putting the cucumber on eBay.
Sorry, Rowntree's chocolate.
Yeah, so there's this company, very forward thinking of its time. So he had a factory. He'd make confectionery for the rich and the famous. And he used to have a suggestions box for his employees to suggest ideas and products and stuff. He also had his staff village, where he'd actually make houses for his staff.
Yeah.
Like Cadbury's did the same as well.
Yeah, that's how they did it back in the day,
which is, I think, is very clever.
Back in the day.
Well, one
All
of
the
his
terrace
staff put in the suggestions going, it would be really nice to have an affordable confectionery treat for the working class that could fit into your lunch pack, your lunch box that you'd take. And the guy was like, this is really interesting. I watched a documentary about it. It was really clever. He literally, all of the... So this is how Kit Kats were made at the time. Was all of the excess from all the other products were made into a Kit Kat. So any biscuit bits were broken down into biscuit. Any like caramelly, toffee kind of stuff was put in the next layer. Then any spare chocolate that was left was then turned into like the chocolate. And it was made so it could fit into people's packed lunches.
I do love a Kit Kat.
So it was full on recycling, full on making sure you got... So the Kit Kat, is whether people like it or not, as a chocolate confectionery, was designed for the poor.
Mr. Roundtree was the corpse grinders of the confectionery world.
He was absolutely. He was recycling that corpse.
He
invented the Kit Kat.
That's good, because I'm a big fan of Four Fingers.
It's Nestle now, I think, but yeah. Where did that go?
Just Four Fingers, Jeff.
Just four.
Just arranged.
I feel let down if I only end up with two.
I tend to eat them all in one go.
Yeah, my sister, when she was younger, got a solid chocolate Kit Kat. And we always used to take the mick out of her and say, no, you didn't, you just made it up. And then I got one, and then I was like, I'm so sorry.
There's something about getting that silver foil and
oh, it's great.
Gone now, isn't it?
I know, yeah.
I think they do keep them in some kind of foil, don't they?
No, just in a wrapper now.
Is it paper wrapper?
No, it's a plastic wrapper.
Of course it is.
Yeah, just a plastic wrapper. I always like Bill Bailey's one where he said, do you remember when they brought out the big chunky Kit Kat?
Yeah.
And he said, I like to melt the four of them together and pretend I'm an elf eating a normal size Kit Kat.
Yeah. It's a good stand up, that. I do like Bill Bailey.
Oh, perfect. Before we end the show.
Oh God!
Should we get the dog out? Because we got complaints when we mentioned
the dog's asleep, man.
And she's not. She's awake. She's awake now.
Yeah.
Because the last time we said the dog was in, and loads of people went, "You never showed the dog."
Yeah, we need to do.
So we'll have to get the dog out.
Dog cam.
Here.
Yeah. Dog cam. So audio only listeners. This is
Belle,
a dog.
Here's Bella.
What breed is Bella?
Bella is a Legato Roman Nolo, which means she's an...
You just made that up. Say that 5 times fast.
It's actually an old Warhammer figure.
Lorenzo Lupo is about sound of it.
She is an Italian water dog, which is what she is. So when anybody asks or thinks, when we say the dog's under the table...
It's because you can fit on
her. This is her. She's 7 months old.
Anyway. Very chilled as well.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she's pretty chill, isn't she? Which is great. Yeah.
It's not the right time to say I have a massive dog allergies, is it? No. But I love dogs, so I don't care. I have sneezing fits.
I feel terrible now that you've got a dog allergy.
Oh no, I mean, I used to live at mum and dad's, and they had dogs, and they still do have dogs. And I went away to university, came back from time to time, and then just develop, because you can develop allergies at any point.
Yeah.
And then just develop this horrible allergy to dogs. So there was one time, we had a Cocker Spaniel called Toby. My sister looks after it now. Licked my wrist, because I'm a t-shirt, licked my wrist. Literally within like 2 seconds, it was like... just a load of hives popped up.
Oh, wow.
Constantly be sneezing. My eyes would be sore. And I do this thing because I let them lick my faces because I'm an idiot. So I let the dogs lick my face. And I'm like, I'm gonna pay for this later. And then my eyes swell up. I'm like, achoo, achoo, achoo. And I'm literally streaming.
Well, you should be all right with her because
she
doesn't have fur in the traditional sense. So
regardless, I'm going to let them lick my face.
Well, lap it. If you're going to let her lick your face then. But if it's fur-based, you won't get off that because she's hypoallergenic.
Cool. Yeah. That's interesting.
I was going to say.
But I love dogs so much that I don't actually care. If to the point that where I struggle to breathe, that's when I might go.
So next time I bring it, do I have to bring an EpiPen?
No, it's not that level.
I was going to say, you're there on the floor, just being like licked to death, and me and Jeff are just stabbing you with EpiPens.
On the table like that scene in Pulp Fiction.
It's literally like a slightly bad hay fever. That's what it feels like. It's not terrible at all, so that's why I'm not so bothered. Liz is always like, did you take your antihistamine before you go into bed? I was like, nah.
It's interesting, like when you get, obviously everybody goes through puberty, but I feel like when you're in your 20s, you almost like have a second one where it's just like, I just can't, like with like weird ones, like you develop allergies to stuff, and it's like I'm always really hot. Keris, my girlfriend, is always really cold, and all that. And
late 20s, you discover you like olives.
Yeah. Weirdly, I didn't like olives for a long time. Then I suddenly started liking them. That's weird.
Yeah.
27 years old, found out I needed glasses. Yeah. How does that happen?
Yeah. It's bizarre, isn't it? Like I got a taste for wine as I got older. Only just starting to get into whiskey now.
Yeah, I'm onto white spirits now.
Okay. That's why you left.
The rest of the story.
Yeah, because there's all the critic base, so I couldn't drink anything anymore.
Let's go back.
He wasn't drinking it. It's what he was dipping his to try and get rid of that problem he had.
You're so wrong. Bleep all of that. Bleep it all.
Oh, right. I think we need to end.
Yes.
We need
to. So all the usual things. Patreon, come and join us.
We have a Patreon. It's wonderful. Discord's amazing.
Got cool stuff to
keep meaning
give
to say
away.
as well, I should do some little advertisements of the tuition I've been doing, because I've had quite a lot of people joining the tuition, the one-to-one. We'll check it out there. It's 130, but you get like 2 hours with the Peach. And so far, I always cater them to what you want. I don't do non-metallic metals. I don't do airbrushing because I'm not skilled at those things. Airbrushing, I'm sure I can as time goes on. But yeah, all the people that have joined so far, I've had quite a few returning customers learning stuff. One of them, at one point, wanted to learn how to be a better presenter. One of them wanted to learn how to be faster at painting. So, and
another one wants to learn how to abuse his subordinates.
Yes, absolutely. And
how many oranges should I put in a sock?
Oh, God. We have limited spaces because we do it on Fridays and stuff.
And then also as well, if you can, on Patreon, you can send photographs of your work and you'll appraise.
Yes, so there's the pot of tea tier. So once per month, you can send some of your stuff that you're working on, and then I don't always get. Like we've had a few, sometimes they disappear into like Discord or Instagram, which has now been dealt with. So yeah, if you can contact an email and then just send them to me.
And the Instagram,
I was just going to say we have the email address at the bottom in the description. So if you want to,
well, this is for Patreon.
That's for Patreon. You have to be on the
Discord group is amazing.
Yep, Discord's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, we got a lot of. I love the memes channel on that one. It's just constant bombardment of memes.
Yep,
yeah.
And I downloaded Darktide to play Shooting Heretics.
Oh yes, how did that go?
Well, I downloaded it on Steam, but they downloaded it on Xbox Game Pass for PC, and they were like, "Hey, it's okay. You can get a refund because you haven't played for 2 hours yet."
Of course, yeah.
So I did that, and then I downloaded it, and then I haven't played with them yet.
It's 2 hours or 2 weeks, whichever comes first. I didn't know that because my dad used to do that. He would get a game and go, "This is rubbish," and then get it refunded. And I was like, "Oh, I'll do that." I was like, "Has it been 2 weeks? Have you played it for more than 2 hours?" Like, I've not played it for more than 2 hours. Like, has it been 2 weeks? It's been about 2 years, Dad. So no, you won't get a refund on that. Okay,
fantastic. But I'm very much looking forward to talking nonsense with them and shooting some heretics.
Yeah, sounds good. I ought to get it. I need to upgrade my PC to do it. But that's something we should do. Gaming.
I think because we absolutely have to do some streaming, and I really want to play Shooter's Blood and Teeth with you guys. I think that'd be really fun.
That's the Orc one, isn't it?
The Orc one.
And I'll just, in case anyone puts in the comments, we haven't forgot about the game. We're still working on them, still editing them.
Yeah.
I wish now, in hindsight, we hadn't mentioned it until.
we just landed with it.
Done. It's an ongoing thing, isn't it? That we're just working our heads around.
Yeah. It's busy. YouTube is non-stop. Yeah, it's relentless. But it's good.
Yeah, it's good to be busy.
Again, thank you for getting us to 50,000 subscribers.
Yes, we really
kind.
You're welcome, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you. And to everyone that watches, to all the Patreons, all the subscribers, you're all awesome. Thank you so much.
Very, very grateful that you would listen to us ramble on being idiots.
And I won't say goodbye. I'll say auf Wiedersehen.
See you later. I'm going with
ciao.